Hey there, it's Sindy Thomas, your career coach and strategist. The Insiders Career Club was recently rated in the top 20 job search podcasts by FeedSpot. Check out their website link. It'll be in the podcast notes. Now let's meet our special guest. Hey there, let's meet today's special guest. Adam Spencer is the owner of Spencer Group International. He's a sports entertainment agent and a sports business consultant strategist. He's trained in sports administration, sports media and communication, athlete representation, and youth sports administration. The company mantra is a seat at the table, which means we all deserve the opportunity to make our voices heard. They enable their clients in the process of success, growth, and maturity. Let's welcome him into the show. Breaking into the professional sports arena as an agent, that can't be very easy, Adam. Tell us how you did it.
This is part of my life backstory, if you will, adult life backstory, if you will. I spent 20 years in the United States Army. By year 12, my 12th year, I was in Afghanistan. That would have been 2000.
Oh, my goodness.
No, for year 14, that was in Afghanistan. That would have been 2011 and 2012. It's probably March-ish, coming along my birthday. Just got back from R&R, and I remember staring out the window at the headquarters in Kabul, and something was going on, and I was just like, it hit me that I can't keep doing this. And at the time, in my mind, it was the deployments. I had to start, part of the reason why I came back for R&R was to try and plan for my return, have somewhere to stay, make sure check on the car, make sure that was in order, that was sitting in storage. All of those things were really starting to get on my nerves. It wasn't the Army itself, but, the picking up and moving your entire life every 3 or 4 years or something of that.
And someone else's beck and call, basically, too.
Yeah, that was starting to get on my last nerve, to be bluntly honest.
Okay.
And as a younger soldier, there used to be the saying when folks were retiring, they would ask you, well, what do you want to be when you grow up? Basically asking you, what's your plan for getting out? Because of a health issue I knew I had, and now wanting to have to listen to somebody else tell me what to do all day. I knew I couldn't go find a regular job out on the civilian world. So I had to ask myself, well, what do I like doing? What do I like? And what do I like doing? And part of that is that Afghanistan, for me personally, was a great social experience. I know that sounds crazy.
Oh, you'll have to explain that one. But you can do it after you finish your explanation.
I realized that, okay, the one thing I love is sports. I'm a geek about it. And through the Afghanistan experience, the other thing I liked was people. So sports and people. So how in the world? Sports agent. Oh, okay. There it is. Did some schooling online that was separate from university. Completed that. Did the paperwork. And by about late 2016, 2017, early 2017, I put in my retirement paperwork. I had taken a couple of tests that I needed to take. I passed them, so I was ready to roll.
Okay.
I was building then, retired in 2018, and we've been going at this ever since.
Okay. So explain the great social experiment Afghanistan was for you, and then we'll find out how you developed a name for yourself in the sports industry as a admin agent.
The social experience was I was actually on Kabul headquarters.
Okay.
And this was high in G-level, staff level. So this was an international base.
Okay.
So I had 3 different Polish bosses. There was a lot of interaction from you name it country that was either a Western European country or a country that had come out from behind the wall. Obviously interactions with other Americans, but it was just a great personal experience for me. Learning people, getting to know people.
And not just getting to know people, but the differences in the cultures and all of that.
Right. The culture, learning different cultural experiences, things of that nature.
Okay. So you did something click in your mind that you could use this in a different role?
Yeah, because for 5 years, one of my other jobs in the military was a retention NCO. Basically, it sounds like you know what that is.
Yeah, you're getting people to re-sign up or sign
Yeah,
up.
exactly. So that was actually a pretty cool extra job. I enjoyed that. So it all aligned, if you will, in the stars.
Okay. So how did you parlay all of that into a second career? Obviously, you mentioned school. So you went back to school and you got either certifications or degrees in certain areas. Can you tell us about that?
So I went to sports management worldwide out of Portland, got certified in athlete representation, school administration, and sports communications. Right now, I'm also back in school at Hampton University. Go Pirates.
Oh, my sister-in-law went there. She graduated from Hampton. So you knew you loved sports and you went back to school to be a sports agent. So from there, how do you make the break into the industry? Because that's the leap that I don't think a lot of people know how to do or do it well.
There's a number of ways you could do that. What I did was I went and got the certifications from FIBA and FIFA at the time. And so your name's out there on the internet then.
Ah, okay.
Build your little website.
Okay, and go and take it from there. Huh?
Forward march, if you will, from there.
Okay. Describe. So I was thinking about your clients, and your clients are individuals that are extremely focused. They're driven because they want to be professionals and they're extremely competitive. So how do you go about building a trusting relationship with them?
Well, that starts from day one. If we decide to talk to each other to see if we can work something out together and begin moving forward together. Number one, it's honest conversations about reviewing said client's career, where they've been and the direction they're trying to get to or what they're trying to get to, obviously. Understanding what they want to do with that career for the next, let's say, 5 years. And and as I said earlier, there's also an honesty conversation about, okay, the best you can do right now is probably here. Being very transparent about that.
110.
I've seen conversations in the past where the reality is, let's just say you're a football player at an HBCU.
Okay.
You get picked for the HBCU combine. There's an honest reality that at best you're a day 3 draft pick.
So in terms of helping everybody else understand, there's first round draft picks,
Yes.
second round draft picks, and then the third, it's the people that are left over from those two. So these people are not considered as high level as the other people we just mentioned.
Right.
Those other two.
Right.
They may end up playing for teams that aren't at the highest level. They aren't ranked high. So maybe they're, if there's a range from 1 to 20, let's say, those teams might be in if one is the highest.
The players more than the teams.
Okay, so
not so much the teams.
Okay.
Player.
All right. So it's the player then.
Yeah. So the team each team will get a draft pick in each round. So what I mean by a day 3 prospect, if you follow the current modern day NFL draft, just taking that as a reference point. It starts off on Thursday night with round 1. Friday night is rounds 2 and 3. Saturday during the day is a 4, 5, 6, and 7. Day 3.
Oh, okay. Okay.
So as a reference point, that analogy, when I say day 3, if you were to just go kill it, let's say at the HBCU combine, more than likely the highest you'll go is in the 4th round. And not everybody's going to take that well, but that has to be an honesty conversation.
Okay. Now, is that because they don't play higher ranked teams in their divisions?
Well, it's the level of play.
Okay.
So let's just say you're a football player there at an HBCU. What the scout more than likely is the first thing he's going to look for is for one of those payoff games where, let's just say it's Alabama State. They get scheduled by Alabama. Okay, first thing I'm going to do is put on the Alabama tape where he may not be outmatched, but everybody else around him is. So they get their brains beat out, It's a bad way to look at it, but it's the honest truth. And just hopefully you look good on tape on that game, because that's the first tape they're going to look for. So let's just say there's another HBCU prospect that you compete against directly. They may go try and find that tape also.
So they have a comparison. But they'll really probably... Okay, so if I'm an NFL team and I'm drafting someone that's in the later rounds, does that mean I haven't gone to scout them earlier to see them in the flesh? Or am I doing this all by film?
There's a lot of relationships, folks talking, cross-talk amongst folks. So that happens. There's also the happenstance of the tape. Okay, I'm looking at Michigan's tape for a certain kid at Michigan. But I see this kid from Michigan State. Well, he's jumping off the tape. Oh, okay. Well,
it's not the kid you originally went to see.
Yeah, things like that happen in this new world of modern college athletics with the transfer portal. Okay, well, wait a minute. I know the kid was originally a 5-star, 4-star, high-end rated coming out of high school, went to you name it, Power 4 school. Something happened for whatever reason, and he transfers down. Okay, so I know the name. Let me go back and look at the tape now. And then there's that background research, that using those relationships, the phone calls. Well, what happened when he was at you name it, Power 4 school, and what was his situation at FCS school, HBCU, at that level, MEAC, SWAC school, Hampton or A&T, Tennessee State. Why is he comfortable there? What's he doing there that wasn't working out at, let's say, Rutgers or University of Virginia or Virginia Tech, University of Miami? Whatever goes on at University of Miami, and the kid transfers to FAMU or Bethune-Cookman, let's say.
Now, when I was looking at your site, and actually your collateral as well, you have a defined approach in how you've developed that you use to kind of get them to think about, I think, the business of sports, kind of help guide you. Can you tell us about that and how you developed it?
Well, I think one of the things you have to understand that the majority of athletes, if they get any staying time at all, somewhere between 3 to 5 years.
Okay. I'm not understanding what you mean by that.
So let's just say, okay, I make it to the league, whether it's NBA, NHL, Major League Baseball, MLS, you have it. You name it. More than likely, if I'm not cut and sent home packing in training camp, first week, whatever the case may be, the average length of a career is somewhere between 3 to 5 years.
Oh, very short.
And we live in times now, because of, the understanding of the health issues, the different way we look at managing the body, the finances, the improved finances. 10 years now is a good career. You do it for 10 years, you could be talked about in Hall of Fame territory. You could be remembered if you make it 10. So there's a much more, once you get there, there's a much shorter time frame for you to actually perform normally. In the past, a Hall of Fame career, you had to put in at least 12. You generally put in 10, 12 years. Now, you can get in the Hall of Fame on 9 strong years now. And so one of the first things I try to do is manage the conversation of understanding, okay, this is not a really long time for you.
So you're managing their expectations.
Right. Secondly, one of the things I want to do is to set goals for them outside the game. Do you have your degree? Do you want another one?
Okay.
What are your hobbies? What do you do in your time off? Do you like to travel?
So you're trying to make sure that they're a well-rounded individual at football.
Yes, that's a personal thing for me to make sure you're well-rounded. Because to be bluntly honest, no matter the gender in the sports world, if they see me as a Black person, that Black parent has probably sent them over there to talk to me. So just to be bluntly honest. And so I think there is a commitment to make sure that, okay, if we work together, I'm doing the best I can for however long we're together. That's a construct I learned from the military as an NCO also, because it's just like in some respects it is like that where, okay, you get a private in one day. You work with him, help him perform. He performs. We grow him all the way over to a specialist. Okay, specialist is, you've been doing all of this. Can you lead? It's time for you to go to the board. Okay, we get him to the board, passes, does all the other extra educational stuff. He's an NCO now. He's gone. He's out of your hands now. You may still have rank over him. You may still have a leadership position over him, but he's not under your deodorant, as they used to say.
So an NCO is a non-commissioned officer.
Right.
Okay. I just want to make sure for people that really don't.
Right. No problem. No problem.
Know all the acronyms. Okay. All right. And how do you see that working for them? Because right now, and I've been, just to be upfront with you, my degree is in kinesiology and physical education. So I came up with a sports mindset and I played sports. And then when I got to college, I fell in love with dance. And so I became more dance focused. But I still had the love of sports. And although I kind of got away from some of it, more recently, I've gotten back into basketball and just love it, and I'm so excited for every game I watch, but for the love of the game, right? Anyway, let me get back to another question because I lost my train of thought there completely. Tell me about some of because this, from your perspective, I want to talk about you and what you do. And so you are working with an athlete. He can be any range on that scale of being in the round 1 down to round 6 or 7 or however many rounds there are. When you get them and you are representing them to a sports administration, whoever you deal with lots of people in the sports world. So when you're talking to a team, what's the wide range of people that you are working with when you're working on a contract?
So that can range depending on the sport.
Okay.
And the country and the terms that they use to label it.
Okay. So most of my listeners are in the U.S. There are some in Africa. They're all over, but most of them are here. So.
All right. So for American purposes, let's just say, okay, you'll deal with the general manager, obviously direct conversation with the general manager. You'll deal with maybe a director of player personnel. You'll deal with maybe a community liaison from time to time. You may deal with the capologist or the analytics guy depending on the situation and the roles and responsibility of said person. You'll highly likely be engaged with a scout at some point, depending on, especially situations like where you look at the NFL and an undrafted free agent, UDFA. From what I know of those situations, a lot of time the scout is on the phone with that young man after the draft, trying to get him to sign with said team. Hey, or you're with the scout giving him information so he can he can pound the table for that young man. Or you're talking to the GM over money. Because one of the things I think people have to understand is that I'm the go-between. I'm the middleman between the organization, front office, and all of their staff and the players.
The client.
A lot of one of the warnings that they give folks that think about representing themselves or want to represent themselves, which if that's what you want, do you think? Not mad at you. Is that you have to understand that, okay, you're going to get the ugly truth about what they think about you and your performance when it's time to come to the bargaining table for your contract. Now, this isn't an exit meeting. This isn't film room study or anything like that. This isn't practice. This is the deep stuff now. We're getting into the stuff now.
Yeah. And no matter how they think they'll be able to deal with that, it's very hard to hear that personally.
About yourself.
Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm. In my recruiting world, I was your role. As I worked with the client, pump them up and, get them all excited about it. Talk to the manager and then the department head with the case salary and all of that. So yeah, I totally get what you're saying there. And I also had to deal with HR above me to make sure that we could offer somebody, whatever it was they wanted. Oh, yeah. Very interesting. Okay. So how do you overcome some of those challenges when you are representing someone and you're working to get them the best deal you can for them, and you've got them the best deal, but it's not the deal they wanted. It's a little less than the deal that they wanted, and they're expecting, I don't know, millions and millions, and they're not getting as many millions as they thought. So how do you help them see the value in the offer that is being presented to them?
Well, there's a lot of nuance into that, depending on the situation. Like, I could tell you, hey, take this short-term deal right now. Let's say it's 2 years. And say the client wanted 4 or 5, wanted that stability. There could be a situation where I tell you, hey, look, take this short-term deal for 2 years, because in 2 years, the new TV contract kicks in, or they have to go back and start renegotiating quickly for a TV deal. When more TV money gets added to the pot, for American purposes, salary caps rise.
All right. But it also gives them a chance to prove themselves.
Correct. I may have to tell you, hey, let's take this prove it deal, which may be 1 year, maybe 2 years. It's not that long-term stability, but it is an opportunity for you to show what you got for the first time, or show what you got again, or show that you still got. Excuse me.
Now, there's a lot of range, Adam, in what you do, besides what we think of as the athlete representation. You've got the sports media and communication, sports marketing and sponsorship, sports right holders, name, image, and likeness. Can you talk about, let's go with the media and communication first, and just kind of hit a high level of what that is and what you do.
So basically, at a high level portion, it would be more like the PR person for the company. So in that, I would screen your interview opportunities, kind of vet certain ones. Hey, respect this. If there's an interview you need to tell, or there's a narrative we need to combat, or there's a story that we need to relay or clean up, then I may have to call it,
Yeah, there's a lot of that going on right now.
Right. You may have to call there's a call to media contacts, if you will, to say, hey, take care of my guy on the back end. If I got the news to break, I got you. Just take care of my guy right now.
What are you doing to prepare them to present themselves the right way from a PR perspective? So, helping them with their storytelling.
So one of the great things about modern times is a lot of these guys throughout their collegiate experience already have some form of media training.
Mm-hmm. Okay.
So more often than not, said client has spoken in front of a camera before. So they're not totally wet behind the ears, if you will, when getting on camera. They're not totally green to that process. Now, with that said, also some of them have a fixed opinion about media and things of that nature also. Good, bad, or indifferent. So there's that. One of the other things too is, okay, we've got to develop your story. What do you want to portray about you? What do you want to portray about you, the athlete? What do you want to portray about you, the individual? What do you want if the intent of the interview is a little more personal? What exactly do you want to talk about? Your life off the field, your social relationships, your family, et cetera, et cetera, et cetera.
As you said, kids these days, they're really used to media.
Yes,
they're books and everything. They're reading all this stuff. How has the rise of digital media transformed the way that athletes and sports organizations communicate with their audiences? because as an audience, we had become more sophisticated as well. Is there a difference that you see in how that's being handled?
One of the things I think you have to look at is that the fan feels more connected because I get in his DM, I get in his or her DMs.
Or I can be on Instagram with them and know what they're doing.
Right. A lot of the athletes now are doing podcasts. So you're seeing more of their personal opinions, more of their life, more of their day to day.
Okay.
And it's not even the athletes. Now you can team Instagram and you'll see somebody's day in the life, whether it's the trainer, the equipment manager, the office secretary. So you have much more background information, and the consumer, the fan, the interested party is now just thirsty for more. I think for the client, you have to understand, okay, there's this level of popularity. It can open an opportunity for me to speak. It can open an opportunity for me to give my opinion.
And what about sports marketing and sponsorship? What trends do you see shaping the future of sports marketing and sponsorship for your industry?
I think one of the things you have to look at is how the client has branded him or herself during his collegiate days. You look at Dion, Coach Prime. He built that image of Prime at Florida State. And so that, as an agent with a client, I'm gonna have to dig into that. Okay, well, what have you presented at this level, at the college level? Good, bad, and indifferent. What have you presented? Because I may have to help you clean it up. Hey, bro, you can't keep hey, you got away with it here, but this stuff, can't keep doing that. I may have to ask a question. Okay, do you really want to continue to tell this story? Are you sure with that? Are you sure you're comfortable with it? When you look at it also, the brand or whatever sponsorship, I also have to be in conversation with them about developing the athlete's or the client's story, developing the narrative, and how within the marketing campaign or whatever it is they want to do with said athlete, said client, can not only support them as an organization, as a company, but is applicable and congruent with who the athlete is.
So it's a natural kind of a.
Yeah, the two do have to, you do, there's some work to get the two to match up, because I tell people a lot of the times, why are you in a Raising Cane's commercial when you know you don't even like it?
Well, that would be an integrity factor. It's like, I don't want to work if I'm looking for a job, I'm not going to go work for the alcohol industry, or I'm not going to go work for cigarettes. You have to pick your opportunities. Doesn't line up with what you believe. And yeah, I could see that. One of the things I did want to talk about is, and we're kind of running out of time here, is I wanted to talk about the skills that you feel are essential to be a sports agent.
Well, first and foremost, I tell anybody, you have to have the skill of knowing yourself, knowing who you are, what you are, what makes you happy, what doesn't make you happy, what drives you up a wall, and what settles you down. If you got a therapist, keep them or find a new one.
And why do you say that?
I'm trying to be serious here, but no.
Hey, I'm serious. Everybody can use a little help, I'm sure. So, especially with stress.
Right. Because as a sports agent, I look at this job as you're supporting the athlete. I think too many, there's a level, I won't say too many, but there's a level of agents that either try to or become, or the media makes them bigger than any of the clients. When if your client isn't healthy, sane, and physically able to perform, nobody's making any money.
Sure enough. Yeah.
The client's not going to make any money. So that means you're not making money. I take it as a need to be involved in the person as a support asset in daily life. If it's no more than checking in once a week, hey, bro, you all right? Everything good?
Okay. So do your clients have you on speed dial? Because I would imagine that there are a lot of things that come up, especially for these young athletes that don't know this world, that they're stepping into at the level of being a professional athlete, and be calling you up. Hey, Adam, this happened. What do you think about this? Or what should I do about this?
And that's the reasoning behind the relationship building process, apart and the reasoning behind like the fact of getting to know the client and whatever he or she deems as their inner circle. Also, I feel like as the relationship grows, you become a part of that. You become a part of that inner circle.
Well, yeah, I would imagine. And so what are some of the other skills? Because if you're dealing with this entity, this person, and you become a part of their life, there's the personal factor, but you're still the representative from a business perspective. So for you as their agent, and you're working on their contracts and you're working on their image and you're trying to elongate their careers as you possibly can, notwithstanding that injury can happen at any time. There are a lot of areas that you have to know about, and skills and knowledge that you have to be able to do that. And just when I was thinking about it, it's similar to some of the stuff that I did from my professional career, which is negotiation skills. You have to know when an offer is good and you should say yes or no, we need to go back to the table. And that takes good communication skills. It takes the ability to understand the contracts and know what's available, to even ask for it. And there's a certain amount of legal knowledge that goes along with being able to read the contract. And then from what you're saying, it's like knowing the people in the industry. That's networking. Mm-hmm. So, there are a lot of skills and financial acumen. I'm sure I'm leaving some out, but are there any others that you can add to that?
Yeah. One in particular, being able to say you don't know it all. And then that's where that networking that you were talking about comes into play. Who do I know? Who can I call to get this answer? Hey, is there someone else within the business world I need to build a relationship with or talk to help, say, a client through the situation, or just building their network? For me, that's a big one.
Anything else you want to add to that?
Knowing when to hold them and knowing when to fold them. I don't care what's going on. I spent 20 years of having people yell and scream at me like I was crazy, whether I was right, wrong, or indifferent. I'm not going to be on the phone yelling and screaming back and forth with people. I'm going to be very, if I am in a negotiation situation or we are trying to discuss opportunities, that person across the table, across the Zoom call or whatever, on the phone, whatever the case is, I'm going to have an open and direct conversation with you. I'm not going to get out of pocket with you. So I demand that you don't get out of pocket with me.
Well, yeah, you don't want to ruin a relationship. And it's just a matter of respect.
Exactly. So.
All right. And I would say there's a level of persuasion.
Yes.
But it's subtle. It's got to be subtle, I would imagine. It was subtle for me because you're dealing with highly sensitive information when you're dealing with money, right? And people, what they think their value is, as opposed to what it actually is when you're translating it into a business opportunity. There takes persuasion and it takes integrity and honesty. There's a lot of factors that go into what you do. And it sounds like a very interesting job, Adam. Are you enjoying the switch that you made? Is it feeling like you really, this is where home is from a work perspective and career?
Yes, it's always some rough times. It's ups and downs. But the biggest thing for me is to always pull myself back to center. One of the things I've begun to start to deal with is that none of it's going to be perfect.
Well, you don't always get what you want, right?
Right. Especially in this business, you don't get everything, but you got to be happy. Are you happy with the things you did get?
Did you get what you need? That made me think of that Rolling Stones song. You can't always get what you want, but you can get what you need. Yeah. And sometimes you get more than you need, but it's still not quite what you wanted.
Exactly. If nothing else, did we meet the happy medium?
Yeah. And it can take a lot of going forth, back and forth to get that. Well, Adam, it's been my pleasure to speak with you today.
Sindy, this was an absolute pleasure. Thank you.
You're welcome. I will allow you to get back to I know you're busy. So you got a lot of balls juggling there with all the things that you do. I just want to tell you how much I appreciate you taking the time to talk with us today.
This was a pleasure. Thank you.
Oh, you're welcome. Did you enjoy the show? Well, keep listening and don't forget to like us. If you've been laid off or downsized or need a career pivot, if you need resume help or to sharpen your interview skills, I can help you. Set up a complimentary 20-minute call with me on my website at www.insidescareerclub.com. Until next time, may God bless you, keep you, and make his face to shine upon you. Take care.